Blog Talk Radio.
Cherokee Billie is a spiritual advisor and certified animal communicator who has been guiding people on their sacred path for nearly 40 years. Her ability to hone in on her clients' needs has made her one of the most sought-after spiritual advisors in the country. With Cherokee Billie's guidance, you can take the first steps or refine your journey along your sacred path. Before we get going, we ask that you do your part. Have your one question ready, keep it concise, and stay on topic. One concise, on-topic question. And now, here's Cherokee Billie.
Greetings, this is Cherokee Billie, and welcome to the Sacred Path radio program, where we will be talking tonight about the new moon that's coming up and its energy and what to work with and what to do. And joining me is my dear friend Ray Susani. Hi, Ray.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm still breathing, so I don't know. There's the answer. I'm still breathing. But we're here to talk about the new moon and everything that's coming up. Most people are happy because the moon is on the 14th, but the 15th Mercury retrograde ends. So people are always excited about it. I just figure Mercury retrograde is every day in my life, and it doesn't matter what the stars say.
So,
you there?
I'm here. I'm here. I
Okay.
agree with you 100%. Doesn't matter what the star says. It's what's what's happening with
But
you right now.
Right, but a lot of people really go by it, so they'll be happy that it is ending. This Virgo moon is a good one to work with because it's very practical, and it's about getting attention, and like if you've been putting off doing things, be it cleaning or any detailed work that you need to do, now's the time to do it with the energy of the new moon. There is a certain energy that occurs there on these moons. This is not just some hocus pocus type stuff. This is scientifically proved. And the moon it affects the waters of the world, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, and our bodies are composed 70% of water. So it does affect us, whether we believe in it or not. It's just scientifically it is proven that it does. So think about that, and maybe you'll want to tune into working with these new moon energies. Now, a lot of people want to know about how to work with it. Well, Native American shamans, if you used to, or even today, if you go to them and you tell them you're suffering, from depression or disheartened or whatever, they're going to ask you some questions. Number one, when did you stop dancing? When did you stop singing? When did you stop being enchanted by stories? When did you stop finding comfort in the sweet silence? Now, why they're asking these, because these are the ways that you will find your true self, is by doing these things. So it's time, if you've stopped dancing, singing, whatever it may be, now's the time to start doing it again, because these are going to increase your energies and make you feel better. And that's why people love to play music. It makes them feel better. Same with dancing or singing, storytelling. All these things make people feel better. Any comments or thoughts with that, Ray?
Well, I agree with you. Anytime, with the full moon, the body, like you said, has a lot of water in it, and that's why people tend to go a little either very happy or a little wacky. And if you quit dancing, not necessarily actually dancing, but if you quit being yourself,
within your spirit.
Singing don't mean you got to be singing, because they tell me to sing so low they can't hear me.
Yep.
But
kind of like Barney
yeah,
Fife, right?
Well, not that good.
Okay.
You just, like you said, you got to try to get, you got to try to be upbeat about stuff and not down. And when you're down or anything else, you got to find out why. And that's what the moon does.
And work with something to get you back up. The modalities you just mentioned, dancing, singing, dancing, storytelling, all these different things. You have to work through it. And again, Virgo is a very practical sign and a good one to work with for practicality, which a lot of people don't have much practicality in their life anymore. They live on illusions, and that is a big thing that's happening.
Absolutely. People believe everything that they hear anymore, and you can't, because most people are they say stuff just to say it, and they say it like it's gospel, and most of the time the people that are saying it have no clue what the heck they're talking about.
Pretty much.
Just repeating what someone else said.
You got it. That is very true. And for those listening, I have written an article on the new moon for September 14th, which you can read at my website, Cherokee Billie, spiritualadvisor.com, and there's also a video accompanying it. Now, I see there's some people calling in. Shall we take some calls?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see who the first person is. Hello, this is Cherokee Billie.
Hi, Cherokee. Hi, Cherokee Billie. Hi, Esther. Yes, you got it.
Hi, Tina. I know you're the person who calls every week. I thank you for your following and your loyalty. Thank you.
Well,
thank you.
The respect, because here is honesty and truth, and natural gifted. The divine doesn't use any tool.
Yep, that is true. Is there a comment or something about the new moon that you want to know?
Yes. So what you said earlier, I am experiencing that, and I'm starting something new. And then how would you explain the hurricane that is hitting right now in the Caribbean, and the news over there when that going to the Florida coast? Like, is it doing an energy sweep? What is your comment on that? Because it's a new moon, and it came out on the new moon, and it got strong up till 5. Please, thank you.
Well, I don't think it's related per se to the new moon. Remember, that's not till the 14th. September is hurricane season, plain and simple, in the Caribbean. September and October are the busiest times. So I don't have a real comment on it. Maybe you do, Ray. I don't.
Yeah, I'm lost. I don't have a comment on it. The only thing I can say is what the weather in the whole world is changing, and they all say, and this is my own personal opinion, they all talk about climate change, but if you look at history, weather changes constantly. The ice age, things like that. So I think it's just.
Yeah, and I agree. It's our climate is changing. Everything's whacked out. So who knows? Remember, a lot of things are not so much spiritually connected as they are as what's been done to Mother Earth, and she's been beaten and bruised.
Many times.
Yes, and it keeps going. Yeah. Go ahead, Tina.
Really, since you're Native Indian background, and I have seen your videos, and I did do the clearing. What would you say the Native Indian respectfully input about the new moon or anything concerning the hurricane? Because, please, thank you.
Well, the hurricane, I can't comment. I just did about, what a shaman would say if you're down and depressed, that when did you stop dancing? When did you stop singing? That's the
Yes.
Native American way to approach it. And that's why, like on a new moon or a full moon, they would do ceremonies, and they always did dancing in a circle. And they danced and they drummed. Drumming is very important, and they did that. So um, the Native Americans understood it was a sacred time, and they gave a ceremony for it. You can do a ceremony of your own. You can you can dance. Dance around in a circle. You can do it for yourself and for the spirit thing. You don't have to do it to please anybody else, just for
Yeah,
yourself.
you should always just try to. I mean, you try to please other people, but to please yourself, because if you're not happy, you can't help anybody else be happy either.
That is true. Very true. So I think these are some of the things, and go over to my website on my blog and read my New Moon article in detail, where I give a lot of information. Now, off the top of my head, to remember everything I wrote is not always easy, but all of it is written down. Do you subscribe to my newsletter?
I haven't, but I didn't know I can do that. I go back into your website, 'cause I read everything you have in your videos.
Mm-hmm. Well, you might
Very
want to
interesting.
subscribe to the newsletter, because then you'd be getting advance notice of things, okay?
Oh, wow.
And because you call in so much, I wanted you to know that if you want to do any of my readings, I would give you a 20% discount. All you got to do is choose the reading and send me a contact through my website, and I'll get back to you, okay?
Okay. That's interesting. I really appreciate that.
Well, I think it gives you an incentive to want to try. 20% is a good discount. Is there any other
Yes, yes.
comments you want to make?
Yes, I have another comment, please. So, does, does the, there is supposed to be a comet coming near the moon. It's called the Green Comet, and within the 400 years, this is going to impact anything else with the Mother Earth.
I haven't heard anything about it, so I really can't say. I study astrology per se. I know a lot of things, but I don't know nothing about it. I doubt if Ray does either.
I don't know anything about astrology other than looking
Yeah,
up in
so
the
we
sky
can't.
and seeing the stars.
There you
I
go.
have
Uh,
one more thing to say, please. A month ago in Nevada, there was an article where it was not a hoax. They saw two beings in someone's backyard. It was on the news media.
uh-huh.
I'd just like to know your input on that, please. It was very interesting that what they were saying, and it was not a lie. Anything on that?
Well, well, UFOs or creatures or beings from other planets absolutely exist. There's no two ways around it. And anyone who doesn't think that they don't, I would question that, because out of all the planets, all the solar systems, only one little planet would have life. That doesn't make sense. Any thoughts, Ray?
I agree. There's got to be more out there than here, simply because rumors has it that that's how we got the guidance systems for the space shuttles. Well, it was from an alien, but I don't know. But I agree. I believe there's more than one planet that has life on it, and I believe there's aliens here. I mean, it's not like they're on TV, but I believe that they're here. But like I said, that they're not like they are on TV. They look like
No, they're
everyday
not going
people.
to advertise that they're here. Yeah, and they do. They're called star seeds, many different names for aliens, but yes, they're here, and they're not something to freak out about.
No, because if they were here to cause trouble, uh, I don't believe anybody on Earth could stop them.
That is true, and there's already enough trouble on Earth that I don't think they have to do anything if they're
Not at
negative
all.
spirits. No, we got enough negative right here on good old planet Earth. But they're
Yep.
not something to be afraid of. You know, if I encountered an alien out in the, say, desert or something, I would probably just want to see if I could communicate in any way. I'd be curious. So
Well,
that's our thoughts with it.
they probably
But
speak our language anyhow, because you got to know that they got to be much more advanced than anybody here.
yes, if they can come from a different solar system into here, you bet they got advanced technology. Definitely. So I hope that helps you, Tina, with our knowledge.
Beautiful knowledge from the new moon and all that good stuff. Thank you for clearing and smudging the air.
Yes, it is. And I thank you always for calling in. We really do appreciate you. Just know that, okay?
Thank you.
And you
Beautiful
have
words.
a blessed new moon, okay? And please go to my website and read the article. It'll help.
Okay.
All right?
Thank
You
you.
have a blessed evening. Bye-bye. All right, well, we're back here. Ray, it's
Yeah,
just you
I'm
and
still
me
here.
again.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
some people have been calling in, but I think people are having trouble with the phone lines. It looks like I could be wrong, but seems like it. Anyway, let's get back to what we were talking, which is some of the things to work with, dealing with on the new moon. And this can also affect, our body, our mind, our emotions, and there's many things that you can do to get yourself in balance. And I always talk to people about planting intentions, planting seeds. They're called moon seeds. And you can plant your intentions. You can write it out, or you could plant it literally. Go out, write out what you want, then go outside, dig a hole, and plant it in the earth and expect it to blossom into something, be it in the earth or not. Plant the seeds. Write out what you want to happen. That's how you work with the new moon.
Or if you want to get rid of some bad stuff, write it down and burn it.
That's true. Write it out. Say a prayer over it before you burn it and send it off away from you. I always liked
Absolutely.
burning things. It makes it, I don't know, it always felt good to do. I've written about burning bowl ceremonies, and you can read about them, well, or watch the videos on YouTube about them, because they are powerful. Burning is always a wonderful way to change the energies and get rid of things. But again, plant the intentions. What do you want to see manifested between now and the end of the year? Make it simple, just over this 3-month time. What do you want? And write it out. If you don't plan it, just write it out. You can always do a prayer over it, light a candle, set up an altar, do something where you're acknowledging what you're doing and sending out to God, the universe, the creator, whatever name you want to use for it. Just know that he is there. He does hear. He is listening. And so are the angels. Call on them. Never forget the angels.
And it's
Go
like
ahead.
I always say, just because it doesn't happen when you want it to happen, doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I mean, I've personally been praying for stuff for a long time, and I believe one day it's going to happen. I hope sooner,
Right.
sooner than later. But yeah,
Our
it will
timing
happen.
is not the same as the spirit world's timing. And it doesn't mean that our prayers are not being heard. They are. Things go in motion, but it takes time. It takes patience. It takes time. Now, I see there's another caller. I'm going to see if we can get this person on the line. And hello, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
And who is, yes, indeed.
Yes.
Who is this?
Yes. I tried to call in like 5 different times, and it didn't put me in a queue. It just put me onto the show of listening to you guys, so I'm glad I got through.
Well,
Just,
you are in a queue, even if you think you're just listening, you're still in a
no,
queue.
because I'm listening on my Bluetooth speaker and in my ear on the phone. But my question is, we are water, and the content of water and the content of all the pollution in the earth. Is it better to drink tap water or bottled water?
Well, from a health
You know what I mean?
standpoint, bottled water. Tap water,
Even though
you've
there's
got too many
plastic?
dangers. You know, there's
Even
too
though
many
there's
dangers.
plastic in that?
In what?
In bottled water, it has plastic, more plastic in it. It comes in a plastic container. I mean, are the chemicals more in the bottled water, whether it be spring water, filtered water, distilled water? I mean, I've been aware of Dr. Emoto for over 20 years, and I'm just, like at this point, like where I live, there's not chlorine in it. So does it really matter where it comes from, just as long as it's water?
Well, as clean a water as you can get, because you don't want parasites. You know, that's one of the big problems with water that is not filtered or whatever.
Yeah,
Also, you have
been a practice over 6 western states for many years, because the new moon, again, and when you were mentioning is, farmers use in the Farmer's Almanac, they use the moons and when to plant their seeds.
Absolutely.
So when you said moon seeds, I was like, oh yeah, well they also, it's connected with the Farmer's Almanac. That's when it all made sense to me. Somebody told me that when I was like 40 years ago. And I was like, oh my goodness. And she's an arborist, and she works with earth and soil and doing tree trimming and the health of trees. And it was interesting to learn that. And I'm like, you know, when there's a tree that's barren and it's nothing, does it really matter what water gets there? And our bodies are so polluted with chemicals and prescriptions and hormones and things that have been, what do you call them? Things that enhance the flavor, monosodium and the things that, the hormones to reproduce the meat. I mean, doesn't it trickle all down? All the water goes down the same. And in sewers and in refinement plants, it's not all taken out. I read an article once that said the water in L.A. County is probably 40% Xanax.
Well,
that's why,
if it is
since the proportions of
Xanax, I need somebody to send me some
helping.
bottles of water.
And it would totally make me have the flu. It was horrible for me. But for those of us who need it, it's like, you know, who can, like you were able to use it. Me, my body, pharmaceuticals, we don't get along at all over the years.
No, everybody is different.
And water works. And I lived in a place where you could smell the sulfur in the water. I lived for 10 months. Didn't bother me at all. I lived in L.A. When I lived in Reno, I could smell the chlorine. I let it set. I heard pour it, let it set with the open container for 24 hours, and the chlorine should evaporate. So I always let the bottles of water set for 24 hours, because I believe in that when you, to pull the pesticides and stuff out of vegetables, to soak them. And the thing of the one bleach, it has to be Clorox. My daughter-in-law did that for, I don't know, decades, and believed it, and here I'm still seeing it again on the internet, and this is, you know, many years later. So I'm like, if we're getting a constant flow of water and we're flushing our systems, and we don't have any like autoimmune illnesses, blah blah, does it really matter? Some of those shipments of water get sat outside in the sun for 13 hours. What do you think happens? The water absorbs the plastic out of it. They say not to freeze water, because when you freeze it, it blends with the bottle, and when it thaws out, it's pulled plastic out of the bottle. Just saying, that was a new fact to me. I thought I'd share that.
Well,
and I know
showering,
when you shower,
we're going to have to
and
have
when
water.
You shower,
let me make one point. We need water. Without water, you can't exist. So whether it's polluted or clear or not, you still need water. And I think
Yes.
having a personal filtration system in the home is probably the best thing. I know people who live out
Mm-hmm.
in farm areas, that's what they have is filtration. You know,
Well,
they're taking well water and filtering it. And that would be your best bet.
and that's where, when I lived out in this one little town here, when I drew the bathtub, some days the water was brown. That's like I'm in farmland. That's water I
Yeah.
still drank. I still drank it, 10 months worth, but I've always been healthy and health conscious. So anyway, I just wanted to, also when you're showering, and I visualize mine as liquid gold healing, and I visualize it going inside of my body and telling one cell, heal. And then that cell tells another one. That cell tells another one. And whether the rinsing water in any way, some people can put their hands under warm water for ADHD. For some things, it calms you down. So there's many uses to water. But
That is
I know
true,
we're near
and you
the end, and
can
you probably have a
charge
wrap-up.
water. You can charge
Oh,
water with
I
the
have the
energy of the full moon.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Maybe you'd
So
like to
there's many
explain
things that
that.
can do. Now, well, we're coming down to the last few minutes, so I really have to move on off of this topic.
Okay.
But I thank you very much for calling in. We do appreciate
Yes.
it. And hang on and keep listening. Go ahead.
And I one time recently looked at the full moon for 15 straight minutes. I didn't sleep that night. That's how much energy it was. Wow. So thank you. I'm a sunshine lover, but I'm a moon person. So take care and much love.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, she brings up some good points, about water. But again, we need water to exist, so we've got to get it one way or another.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And, you can charge water under a new moon or a full moon. You put out a container of water either in a windowsill or outside and let it be charged by moonlight and drink that. Or you can charge it the day before the new moon so that you can drink it on the new moon. You can do different types of ceremonies with water in regards to any of the moons. It's always good because, again, back to the thing that the moons control the water in the world and the water in our bodies. So that's where it comes back to about water and moons. That's why moon water is often talked about. Has a lot to do with that, and people don't realize that the moon is affecting, like the waves in the ocean. If there was no moon, there would be no waves in the ocean. It affects it.
Absolutely right, because the Earth is always spinning, as everybody knows, and the tides go. That's why they got the tides, high tide, low tide, because the water's always going in and out.
Yes, and also the archangel who rules over the waters is Azrael. So you can always, for any moon, use Archangel Azrael, do prayers or requests or ceremonies or whatever, and include Archangel Azrael. That will be of great benefit for you. Now we're coming up to the last minute of the program. And if there's anything you want to add here in closing, Ray, please do.
Okay. It's like I always, this isn't on the new moon, but it's like I always say, when you pray, always make sure you surround yourself with the white light of the Creator and Michael the Archangel with his blue light. Always surround yourself. I don't care if you're asking just for a glass of water or whatever it is that you're asking for. Always protect yourself with the white light, and I always say the blue light because that's what I do. And that, it helps out, that keeps you safe, keeps the evil away from you, and everything, works out great.
Well, we're always talking, use spiritual protection. I don't mean to cut you off, Ray, but we're down to a few seconds here. So remember, everyone, use the energy of the new moon, pray, ask for divine guidance, get spiritual protection, do everything you can, and be blessed.